Alright, welcome back to another video. Today I'm working on the Honda CRV. This applies to 2002 to 2006 CRVs, but it's similar on a lot of other vehicles actually. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be switching out the rear view mirror for one that has a monitor in it to be used with a backup camera. So if you didn't see my other video on how to install a backup camera in this generation CRV, there'll be a link in the description below. You should see it on your screen right now. So in that video I showed you how to run the wiring from the back of the car to the front and how to connect your trigger wire from your backup lights, and then how to run it to where your stereo would be. Not everyone wants to get rid of the stock stereo. In this case we're going to retain that, and we're just going to have a backup camera in the rearview mirror. Alright, so the first thing I need to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull off this Weatherstrip here just to get it down a little bit, because we're going to need to get the wire up and then run it across the top. If you have an 05, 06 CRV, there are airbags in here, so you do have to be careful. We're just going to loosen this up enough that we can get over into here to bring the wire down to where we can make our connections behind the glove box. Alright, so next thing I'm going to do is take a little 50-degree pick, and you can see the mirror. I'm just going to kind of push it up out of the way here. I'm going to reach behind it, and there's a little metal tang inside of here that we want to push down on. And then the mirror slides right off. Now, if you look in here, this is the little metal piece we want to push forward. Now we'll release it. Alright, so here's the mirror that we're going to use. Nothing too fancy about it. I'll leave a link in the description to this mirror though, the setup, and it actually just slides right on to this mount here. There's no special tools needed, and then there's a set screw that we will tighten down to tighten it down. Alright, so after we get the mirror slid on, it comes with this little tool here. Tighten this screw down. It's on there nice and tight. So this is what else comes in the box. Now this is an additional accessory kit that has different mounts for different vehicles. I don't need that, so I'll be returning that. It comes with an extra windshield mount, because if you had a new windshield you wanted to put that on there, you could. This is to hide the wires going from the mirror up to the windshield. And then this is the unit here that we need to make our connections behind the glove box. So you have some options. So we have to connect this is supposed to be a switched power with ignition, a ground, and then this is your trigger wire for the backup camera. So this will connect to your backup lights. You can also just connect these two together and have that be your trigger. And when you do that, the mirror will still just come on when you put it in reverse. But if you have a mirror that has like an auto dimming function, it won't work unless this is connected all the time when the vehicle's running. So just a couple things to consider. Sometimes it's easier to connect these two together, but if your mirror does have auto dimming and you do that, it won't work. Also, you got two connections right here. This one's for the actual camera input, and then you could hook up a second video input if you wanted to use this as a little monitor for something. It could be a front-facing camera that you wanted to switch on, or an output from a, like an AV system if you want to watch on that small of a screen. So just a couple things to keep in mind there. So this is pretty easy setup. Key is just you want to get this wire run up through here, and like I said, I just am going to get this loose enough just to tuck the wire to this side and then run it down in the trim, because this plastic, you be careful. If you break the clips, it won't hold, and there is, like I said, an airbag in here, so we want to be careful. Alright, so I've got it kind of wired in there or put in place. This little cover snaps over the wire. You run it across the top. See if I get the wire fed up into this channel. It actually makes it easier to push this little piece into the mirror before you put the mirror up on the windshield. Then this just goes back up into here. You tuck the wire into the front you can see we're ready to make our connection. All right, so I've got my glove box pulled out here. And if you don't know how to do that, there's just some little clips you have to push in on both sides, and actually the little roller thing that keeps it from going past a certain point will actually come completely out. And here's my wiring from my backup camera here. So we've got RCA cable and then the power trigger wire. Like I said, we're just going to connect the power trigger wire, in my case, to the green and red. We'll have to ground this black wire, so we'll just find one of the chassis ground points under here, connect that. Then I'm going to connect the camera wire to this wire here. And I'll get everything hidden back here behind the glove box. First, I need to get this wire fed up through to where I can access it up here. All right, so I poked the wire through down here. And I'm just pushing it in. It's a little tight right here. And I'm going to run it up through here. Just tucked it right under here. And now it's right here. So I can make my connection, pull it back that way a little bit, and because you don't want the excess bunched up here at the top. All right, so here in the glove box, you can see there's a good ground right there. So we just loosen that up and we hook our black wire there. Now we'll have a good ground point. All right, so once we get everything wired up, I got everything connected. So I made my connection, spliced the red and the green together. I'm going to zip tie all these wires up a little bit neater and then get them tucked in under here. The other thing you want to watch out for in here is, you do have some moving parts up in here with your vents, so you don't want to put anything up in there. But if you kind of keep everything down here with this other electronics, you'll be safe. And we'll get our stuff put back together and we will give it a whirl, see if we got it working. All right, so I got everything back together. You see we've got the mirror installed. It's looking good. Now we're going to go ahead and try it out. So we'll put it in reverse. You see the green light come on, just takes a second, and there it is on the screen. So I've installed many of these cameras over the year, and this one is a good monitor. If you look online, especially like on Amazon and eBay, you'll find a bunch of these for around $50. Most of those are junk. The display is not very bright, and it's hard to even see the picture. On this monitor, this does have an OEM looking display. You can change the brightness, as you can see. That's how you change inputs, I guess. Would be to press and hold it. So obviously when we put it back in park, so when you put it in reverse, there is just a few second delay. And there we are. So I can definitely recommend this setup. It is a little more expensive. It's around $100 for the mirror, but you do get what you pay for. I'll leave a link in the description to this one. It is a little bit of trial and error finding a good one, so I'm happy to report that this one is nice. It is OEM quality, fit and finish, and the screen. All right, so be sure to like the video. If you have any comments, questions, leave them below. And until next time, we'll see you later.